Hello everyone, welcome to our show today. My name is Rafi Zidan and we're here with Teddy. We're just going to have a quick conversation, just talk about football, how we're going to it, and like in the future how we can look forward to inspire the other people. We'll start with Teddy. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, Tedros Yabio, also known as Teddy. I've been playing football for a while, obviously ex-player. Now I'm working in the legal industry, have my own legal practice and also a football agent. So I assist young players that are with their contracts or getting opportunities moving forward. So yeah, still in the industry, still working within the football environment.
That's good. That's good. That's good. All right, we have questions here for you. We're gonna ask you questions. Nothing too hard, all right?
Yeah.
Let's say. So our first question for you. So what we would like to know is what initially drew you to soccer, and like who was your biggest influence or influences even? Could be several people.
Yeah. I think like most African Australians here, it's around us. It's with the family, friends,
Yeah.
within the environment. I remember first club I ever played for, maybe I was at 6, 7 years old. I was too young. My older brothers joined the team. They said, no, you're too young. So I had to wait a whole year by that time waiting for me to join the team. Yeah, the next year came. So I started 8 years old, started playing club. But it was because of my brothers, really. I've got 5 brothers, older brothers, 4 older brothers, 1 younger, and then a lot of uncles, cousins. We just at the park all day playing soccer.
Yeah.
Our dream was obviously my dream, at least,
Yeah.
was to become a professional soccer player.
Yeah.
So it started from there. Just your local park, the people around you,
Of course.
and just wanted to play soccer, really.
Okay. No, that's good. What club did you start at?
Yeah, I started in Adelaide. So
Oh.
I used to live in Adelaide. So I started at Cobras. This was Cobras was a club in Adelaide, then Adelaide City under 10s. So I remember junior days with it was once a week training. So this is the thing, once a week training under 10s. And you look forward to that training session like it was nothing.
Yeah.
You train
Since it's once a week.
Yeah, imagine once a
It's
week
once
training
a week,
session.
of course, yeah.
So then thinking when you start playing a high level, you're training 5 times a week or 4 times a week, then playing your game. So there's no date off. But as a kid, you look forward to that one, and so
No, that's
that
good.
was growing up. Yeah, so it was a good environment. I think
good.
it was an environment where it made me who I am.
Okay.
The football you play at the park, people don't realize it builds a character
Yeah,
you have
of course.
all later down
Of
the
course.
track. You can tell what kind of players would be what type of players just by how they play in the park
Yeah, of
or
course.
play amongst their friends. So
Of course.
it goes a long way. People don't look at it, but I think it goes a long way.
No, it is. It is. All right. Yeah. So I was just gonna ask me. Can you explain your journey through football? You touched on it. So you said started in Adelaide, and then how did it go from,
Yes.
let's say, past the
fair.
age of 10?
Yeah, so after that, obviously my older brothers all played. They all played at so I have my oldest brother Tosh Yabio. He was very good. So he's the one that break a lot of barriers. Sometimes you have people that break the barriers and make it easier. Obviously, if you take the opportunity. But my older brother Tosh, he was the first to get picked for the state team in South Australia. First to get picked for the Institute of Sport in South Australia. This was when there was no one from African Australian background at all representing, So he was really the first, and he was really good. Obviously, he was fast, creative, attacking player. Then I had an older brother after that. I had another brother, Tom, 2 years older than me, who also went through the system, played for the state team, played for Fing.
Okay.
It was more the state team. You have to make your state team. So I went through the system. The system being you represent your club team, play in regional competitions. From the regional competition, you try to make the state team. You make the state team. Try to make the Institute of Sport, which is the highest level within that in your state.
Okay.
Then from there, you try to represent Australia. This is the system. Obviously, not every player goes through that system. I happened to go through the system where played for the club team, from the club team played for the regional team, which is within the region, like the West. Then from that, the state team, institute team. Then I happened to make the Joey's team, which is the under 17 Australian team.
Yeah.
That was we tried to qualify for the World Cup. So throughout this period of representing, going through the system, I was pretty much the only African Australian.
Yeah.
Only when I came to here, Victoria.
Okay.
So each year is new players coming through.
Yeah.
So when we moved to Victoria at the age of 14, I had to move. Obviously, no one knows me here.
Yeah.
So they contacted the coaches here, and they gave me a tryout for myself. The tryout was all the way in like Hume, I think in Darabin. So we new to Victoria.
Wow.
I have no clue. My brother, obviously, you need to support my brother. My dad took me.
Yeah.
I was like 1 hour late.
Wow.
1 hour late, gotta come again to another session. I thought I wouldn't make it because how would they? But I think sometimes it's fortunate. Obviously, I did well in the sessions I thought, but just because they don't know me, they haven't seen me enough.
Of course.
I happened to make the team, and in that team was one of my close friends, Kamal Ibrahim, who also happened to play. Kamal Ibrahim, who also happened to play for professional here. He played Melbourne Heart. That was before Melbourne City today, but it used to be called Melbourne Heart.
Okay. Kamal was with you in the
VIS,
Joeys?
the Joeys too.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
the VIS, which is the Victorian Institute of Sport. So we train 4 times a week. We play a game within the reserve league in Victoria. So we're like 14 years old. We're playing, I guess, 21 years old, and then you can have a bit older players, so like 25 years old. Some, So we're playing against them. This is the highest level here in Victoria.
Yeah.
From there, we got picked the always, I think around 5. So in the team that we had, in that Victorian sport team, we had Jimmy Jago, who represented Australia, Bailey Wright, who also represents Australia right now. So we had 2 of them from that team. Now I thought we had a pretty good team. And then the Joey's team also, obviously the Joey's team that we had Trent Sainsbury, who also, and then the centre back. So we had a few.
It's good.
So
That's really good. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you were. So I feel like you being crowded by these good players helped you become better.
Yeah. And then even myself, I used to be always hard on myself. Obviously, I'd never thought it would enough, because in my head, the junior days, because people forget that when you play a team environment, it's about the team. What I see lacking a bit when I see players nowadays is more, they forget when you go to club training, they're not there to improve you individually. They're there to improve the team.
The team, of
So
course.
you have to consider what do you bring for
You
the
have to do
team,
your own work,
and you have to do your own,
Of course.
and have to always think about what is somebody else doing. No one knows what the person next to them are doing.
Yeah.
Unless they're saying they are doing it, but in overseas that's what it is. In competition is what breeds it. If you know how hard somebody else is working, would you work hard? And so I saw myself junior day, I used to work I used to train a lot. Like on my off days and days I don't. That's where when you start getting older, the ages of 16 to 18, 19, your body starts developing, obviously.
Yeah, of
You
course.
start getting bigger, and so you have to look after your body and stuff. That's the kind of things that we neglect, I think, because of lack of knowledge potentially, or lack of patience, where you're saying you have to rest. Rest is work too.
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't like resting.
Yeah.
I wasn't the type to like resting. So
No.
I think once you learn, that's why I try to help. I try to give some advice regarding that. Resting is important, but working hard is important too, man.
Yeah. No, that's good. We'll talk about setbacks. So setbacks, these can be injuries or anything that had happened. So did you experience any setbacks or injuries? And if so, how did you handle it mentally and also like physically? If you can, of course, remember about any setbacks.
No problem. Obviously, we know football. In football, injuries is part of the
Injuries,
game.
of
When I
course,
was younger, though, I didn't deal. I don't. Knowing now, when I went back, so I stopped soccer at age of 18. Really, the 19, I stopped. With that Melbourne victory, the story that's Melbourne victory.
Okay.
When I was at Victory, I was training with the senior team full time. I had just went with prior to that, at the age of 17 years old, I went to China with the senior team. So I was training with the Melbourne Victory, and this was the Melbourne Victory with Archie Thompson, Danny Osop, Carlos Hernandez, Kevin Massey. This is probably the best in Australia at that time, you know. And so during those days, and I used to go to training, say, oh, I need to train more, because whenever I go to training, you know, they do tactics, they do this, you play games and stuff, but you don't think you improve. Maybe I'm just not patient too, but you want to do more. You want to do more, but there's no encouragement of doing more. People need to, and then when you do more without knowing what's good for you, your body especially, and looking after, you can tend to get injured. So a lot of the times, obviously nowadays we know in the professional thing, they tell the players, no, you can't train now, thing. But I see that as a good thing and a bad thing. With certain players, if you want to get better, you have to train more.
Of course, yeah.
You have to do it.
have to,
Ronaldo was doing that at Manchester United. Nowadays, every player, when after the training finished, they're like, rush, go home, or you might get injured. The sports scientist tells you no. The video tells you no. How you meant to get better if you're telling me to, you know? So you have to sometimes, you have to know your body also, and obviously know what load you can do extra without overloading. And I felt at that time when I was 18, I think, 18 years old, because I remember 17, I was with the Victory. 18, I was still at Victory, but I was upset I didn't get the contract. There were a lot of players that got contract. I was training with them full time. I remember I was saying, I'm not going to get an opportunity. So I didn't get a senior team, like a professional contract with Melbourne Victory. But at that time, there was, as I said, Daniel Osop, Archie Thompson, the attackers Melbourne Victory had with a lot. But I felt that it wasn't really to do with my ability. It was to do with my, maybe what they see on the outside. With what they usually saw on the outside with a confident black player from the West Side, more than anything. And that comes out as arrogant, comes out as thing. So it might have nothing to do with your abilities, nothing to do with your attitude, just why it comes across. So sometimes you have to be careful, because if you're confident, the truth is, if you're confident and you go and try to take somebody's position, and you might do a hairstyle, they're going to say you're arrogant, and you don't. It's not a personality, that's the truth. That's how it is. That's what your perception is. You have to know what. Later on, I realized what perception is, how people might perceive you. And so it doesn't mean that that's who you are, just how they see you.
Yeah, everyone has a different view.
So, especially with me, growing up, I was the only black person there, really African there. I came from St. Albans. St. Albans, I grew up in St. Albans. This is a rough area every time. And I was African. And I was doing my hair, and I was confident. And for me, sometimes they see that as, are we getting into trouble? They've known me, so that's why I had the bad. For me, I thought it was discrimination. Half the time I thought that. You know, later, you know, that's what I perceived. It might not be, people might, but that's what I think, you know, because of the fact that those barriers, your location, where your ethnicity is, your attitude. Attitude doesn't, just because you're confident does not mean you have an ego, or don't mean you have attitude. So there is a difference, but it can be perceived. And so sometimes as a young person, you have to know this is what is coming across. For me, I didn't care really half the time, and it didn't come to my mind because they did reference check. They've known me for 4 years. The coaches at Melbourne Victory at that time, they've known me for 4 years. Because I was with the VIS for 4 years before Melbourne Victory. So from the age of 14 to 18, they've known me. Like from 14, to 17, they know me. They call my brother. They know my coach, they know everyone. They call my brother and ask for a reference check. How is he at home? And from my knowledge, they didn't do that with any other player. And so they were for me, a sense of thing. It didn't change nothing. They still picked me for the team. They still, and I felt that I had the respect of the players. And like the players thought I thought that, you know, I didn't have any issue with any players. I didn't have any issue with, but it's just because they have a brand. They might not want to ruin the brand because of one player.
Of course,
you know, it happens. Even now, it happens in the EPL. What's that guy, Lewis Skelly?
From Arsenal.
From Arsenal. His celebration, they complain about his celebration. Are you serious? why.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
If there was somebody else from
Yeah,
a
if there was
different,
anyone else.
but yeah, if
Yeah.
if that person was not black, I'm telling you, they wouldn't complain about that celebration. They say he's got
Yeah.
personality.
Yeah,
They
I
got, he's got charisma, he's got personality. Yes, it's part of the game, but it's not even.
Yeah.
So for me, I was more frustrated at half the time because of that. I don't make excuses. I don't like to make the excuse of that was the reason, because throughout my time, you are who you are. Your confidence, you have to be confident in your abilities. But even during that time, I had injury. I had my groin injury. That's why I'm coming back to the question. I had a groin injury during this time. So I was always, and I was not patient. I would come back quick because I just want to play. And then, and then it'll come back again. Later on, I figured I had to play with it. I have had injection on it and stuff. My younger days, I had injection. Maybe when I was 19, 20 years old, I had injection on it. And so, I tried to play, but it was hindering my thing because I wasn't patient.
Yeah.
But I was still playing anyways. I was still playing through it. There was pain. I was still playing through it.
Yeah.
But my patience was running thin.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not going to break into this team. I need opportunities.
Okay.
This was my thinking prior to. I said, we need opportunities. And so in my head, I had an agent at that time. My agent assigned me when I was 16 years old, didn't do nothing. For me, that's what sometime, and I want to take things into my own hand. I said, I need opportunities.
Yeah.
If I'm not going to play Melbourne Victory, is there any other opportunities that I can? This was my thought pattern prior.
Okay.
And during that period, and then there was my agent telling me, no, there's no opportunities in that, and I said, all right, no problem. And then I didn't want to leave football. The truth is, 18 years old, 19 years old to 21, I left football. I didn't want anything to do with football because of everything that was going on. Especially at that time, I had my youth team coach at that time telling me, what are you going to do if you don't play football? All the time, I was the target of, if you don't make it professional, what are you going to do? And I remember that question he asked me in the gym when I was there. He asked me the question, what are you going to do? Are you going to be a taxi driver, work in a factory, warehouse? I said, no, I can do whatever. For me, I said, I can do whatever I want to do. I'm choosing this. This is a choice. I love football. I want to play football. It's not for money. It's because of what I love doing,
Of course.
So, but because of in their head, it's like you can get away from all this. Like you can have a better life. I understand. But later I understood. But the way it came out, it was, for me, I felt like, why are you saying this? I can do
harsh.
whatever.
Yeah, really harsh. Yeah.
So I remember that really did change my mindset. Because he upset me because I said,
of course,
you choose what you want to do. So when I let it go, I wanted to know. At that time, with only football, the truth. I had nothing else.
Yeah.
So I had no education. Obviously, you go to school, but because I was a soccer player, I was playing in Joey's team. I was playing for the thing. No one cared. They said this guy either he's gonna make it, or thing, and they let me go. So, but I remember because I dropped out grade 11 to play with Melbourne Victory.
Okay.
When I dropped out in grade 11, it was to train full time with Melbourne Victory because they gave me the opportunity and stuff. And then I didn't finish. So my brother Tosh, the one I was talking about, got me into a course when I said I don't want to do anything to do with soccer. Everyone trying to convince me anyways. It was a good thing. And about everyone telling me, come back. It's something I love, which they know. But maybe at that time it was too much for me to comprehend because I was upset. It's like, what's with this? I'm choosing to do this. Why do I need to come back? If I want to come back, I'll come back and play. And so it was a lot at that time. And so I stopped for 2 years. I remember when I stopped, I was still playing in the Ethiopian tournament, still playing because people asked me come play. And I'll play because you're helping. And it's not to do with anything, going professional or anything. But I wanted nothing to do with football in the sense of trying to make it professional. So I went into I did a certificate course. I went into TAFE. Because in my household, my parents, you have to study if you're not going to do it.
Of course,
So you have to do something, So obviously myself, I did a TAFE course and I enjoyed it. And I did a certificate diploma. Now I was thinking, what am I going to do? What is your interest? What do you want to do? You have to ask those questions. The good thing is, a lot of the things I learned from football helped me a lot in my studies, a lot, because I used to be disciplined with getting up, getting there on time, and I set goals for myself. I said, do not sleep. Like the hardest thing is really like it might seem like a thing, but do not sleep in the lectures. Some lectures are boring, man. I said, do not sleep. How do I try to change it? I sit in the front. I said, do not eat, do not sleep. If I have a thing, I'll go for a walk, come back. I'll make sure. And then, so that all the skills that I did learn, it helped me with my education a lot. I was way more, and maybe the confidence too, because when I told people I wanted to study law or become a lawyer, a lot of people said no. From my TAFE diploma course, he said, nah, it's too hard. You won't be able to get into it. This, that. So I had a lot of people telling me, nah, why you want to do it? This is. But I said, no, this is what I'm going to do. This is what but anytime I can leave it if I want. Because this is my choice at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So if next semester I leave, I can leave it.
Yeah.
Who's going to tell me anything? No one, because you chose to do it, and as long as you apply it. So obviously I had setbacks, and then I finished the degree through there, you know.
Yeah. So
Sorry, long.
You're just answering the questions as we go. So it's just answering next question, next one. Nah, it's good, but so I'll just go on. So obviously you were playing like a while ago. Now soccer times, we're still playing. So how do you think soccer has evolved from when you were playing? So how do you think it's different, basically? Because I know it's not the same. I know it's not the same.
Yeah, definitely.
Is it better? Is it worse? So tell us.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, they said after I stopped. Remember I said I stopped from 19 to 21. Like thing. I went back to football, by the way.
Okay.
I went back. Obviously, I played, but when I went back, how I went back is the funniest for me. It's funny because I joined the Melbourne Lions Ethiopian team just because they needed help. But each time I play, it's something about stepping on the pitch and you take it serious. For me, because you can't just step on the pitch and just, I don't know. When I see people do this thing, and so I step on the pitch, I still take it serious, and I want to win or score goals, you know.
Okay.
Anyways, I played half a season. They pretty much forced me to come just to help. My brother told me the same. My older brother said, come play my team.
Of course,
do the same thing. And I realized I'm just taking it as serious and getting now. And then I went back. I went and said, this is part of who I am. I went back, tried to play as high as possible, level I can.
Okay.
I remember and then after that I went to St. Albans. I say all this because sometimes you might want to get away from football, but football is still there. So
it's always around.
No, it doesn't go anywhere.
It's always around.
So I went back, and then I remember the time I realized, the time I realized that it's changed more than anything. It's I don't know, maybe for me, now generation, maybe the competition level. For me, I couldn't handle, and not much has changed. You can say a lot of things. Obviously, the structure, the thing, everything of that has changed somewhat.
Yeah.
Like the striker, they're not
How
two
about
strikers.
the players? What do you like the players now? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll say that.
I don't know. I can't say whether he has. For me, it's hard to say because I see it the same. I don't see much more opportunities. The good thing for say African Australians is potentially more opportunities.
Yeah.
But still the same problems. Not like anything has changed.
Yeah.
Still the same, you know, because I see maybe the wingers are doing a lot more than the wingers were doing before tactically, you know.
Okay.
Like obviously you change because I remember I was playing striker. Then when the 4-3-3 came in, they implemented that. They forced like everyone to play that position, and then you would play out wide, and sometimes you play a single striker. Before it used to be two strikers. One might play behind, try to get on the ball. The other will make runs, and now it's changed. But other than that, no. I just and the NPL, obviously the NPL league in Victoria, in Australia, it's changed. Like the structure of it has changed.
Okay.
Like I've noticed because the reserve standard, because we used at 14 years old, we used to play reserve.
Okay.
In the reserve league, in the Victorian reserve league.
Okay.
And then there was seniors. In that Victorian reserve league, it was under 21s. When it was under 21s, it was like 18 to 21, and then after that 21 you can have like 5 or 6 senior players
Senior
drop,
players drop down,
drop
yeah.
down
Yeah.
to play for Fing.
Yeah.
So in the end of the day, the standard there was high. What I noticed is there's a gap now. I feel sorry for the ones that are under 21 level,
Yeah.
because if you're not 18, if you're 18 years old and you're not playing seniors, that 21 league is a poor standard for a good
Yeah.
18 years old, you
Yeah,
know,
of
a
course.
good 19, 20 years old. So the standard is already, unless you go and play in a different division and go to lower division, play seniors,
Seniors, yeah.
you're losing on that quality
course,
that
yeah.
there used to be.
That's how it is.
I think when I
Yeah.
prior,
Alright.
prior to the changes.
Yeah, no, that's good. We'll go back to your career. So we'll go to achievements. Were there any significant achievements that stood out to you, or if you was to choose one achievement, what would it be? So something that you're proud of. Could be little to us, but something so significant to you. If that.
Football, what?
It could be anything. It could be, honestly, it could be anything. It could be in regards to
yeah.
work. Could be in regards to what
Oh
you
yeah,
studied.
no, for me probably the biggest one is getting my legal practicing certificate. So I can have probably that's for me. Football wise, I don't know. It's like I have a good and bad relationship with football.
Yeah,
My
we
life
can
I
tell.
never,
Yeah, we can tell that.
yeah. Even the way I ended, like that's why sometimes, but it is who we, you know, that's relationship. Sometimes you have good and bad anyways.
Of course.
So it doesn't matter.
course.
But with thing personal life, that would be mine. Obviously, getting married, having a child, that's just part of the relationship, you know. But football wise, yeah, representing the Joeys.
Yeah.
Because I remember representing Joeys. I had my passport, Australian passport, and you know, on the paperwork you have to put your nationality.
Yeah.
I didn't know what nationality. I'm representing Australia. But that's why you're like, oh my god, because you know you're Ethiopian, you feel Ethiopian, you're Australian. So I used to have that dilemma growing up, but obviously I don't it now. I'm Australian, I'm Ethiopian, I'm Australian. I'm both, you know. So
No, it's
okay.
good.
Yeah.
What I would like to ask is that, like, obviously you said you're leading practice and you do agencies.
Yeah.
How do you like balance the two? You know, like,
Yeah.
how do you know when to like put more into one than the other, and like
Within work?
Yeah.
Within work or within soccer work and my
Within
soccer
work,
agency?
like now. And,
Oh, it's hard. It's different, yeah. But like most things, I take it the same. Now, because I've learned so much, really the truth, I learned so much for soccer. A lot of the things that in my legal practice or in the work field, I think about how I dealt with things before, truth. Like obviously patience is needed, hard work is needed, you need to have discipline, you need to have, you know, you need to be able to manage all these skills that you do learn. People don't realize you unconsciously learn it, but the fact you have to in that environment will help you in different, as long as you don't just say this is only relating to my football. Like a lot of people think, for me when I see a good soccer player, I say if this guy is good at this, he can do a lot of things good. A lot of things he puts his thing, he can do well. It's just about putting those skills such as discipline. Soccer players are very disciplined if they want to play a high level.
Of course.
And they work hard. They know how to work within a team environment. They know how to set goals, achieve goals, you know? And then they know how to deal with setbacks, learn patience, be patient. Because all this is within a football environment, you know? So as long as you can transfer, for me, I did that within the thing. I don't know how, I just thank God I did somehow. But because maybe that's the only thing I knew how to do. And so I learned and I put it into thing. But it's not easy, but what's easy, you know, in life? So anything that's,
No, of course.
you know, so but you manage it, you get on. You just need to, my downtime now when it's football.
Okay.
The only time I don't think too much is when I'm step on the soccer field.
Yeah,
Still
of course.
to today, or when I coach, or when I coach the kids or help, you know, within football. That's the only time you don't think.
Yeah.
Like with your brain, you can become on automatic. You're thinking about what to do and stuff, but not about anything to do with your external.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it helps you get away from that work environment where obviously, especially in the legal industry, you have, there's a lot of, a lot of things that you have to get done. You just think about getting it done after the training session.
No, that's good. But yeah, with so our final question. So it's in regards to advice. So if there's any advice you'd like to give out to anyone, it could be a young player aspiring to become a professional player. What would their advice be,
Yeah,
or something that even helped you
Big.
to get through so many barriers?
yeah. I think, yeah. Yeah, for myself, it's difficult. One advice, I don't know about one, but what I notice is the competitive edge or competitive nature. You need to, whether, I don't know whether it's human nature, whether you need to instill it, but football in the end of the day is competition. You get in a team environment. There's spots in that environment. You need to compete. You're playing friendly. You're playing against another team. You need to compete in order to get picked for the state team. Get picked for the thing. You need to compete. So that drive, that hunger to win, is to be there. I think, I don't know whether I see now it's a bit softer, where sometimes people can play and not care about winning. Or they can play about.
Yeah.
I don't say winning is everything. Obviously, learning.
Of course.
Winning doesn't hide the fact that you have faults, but whether there's improving, whether setting goals and reaching those goals, whether it's small-sided games, whether it's improving in your fitness, just trying to always constantly reach those goals, because we can all make excuses for a lot of things, and just try to tell them, if you're gonna go there, take it serious, because there's no failing.
Yeah.
Obviously, there is no failing if you're looking to always, but you're always gonna learn.
Yeah.
You might lose today one game, but tomorrow you come back. There's always tomorrow. You'll come back better as long as you're showing that emotion, that hunger, and not accepting it. And that's where I think it's going. Sometimes it can be a trap. Sometimes I see the junior coaches saying it's okay, it's all right. It's okay, obviously, but you have to gauge, because they can learn. But if they're just not caring about it, it's hard. You have to care, man.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of people who don't want to be in your boat.
Of course, you have to. Yeah, you have to. No.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
so much.
no problem.
Thank you.
Everything you said is going to go a long way to inspiring other people.
Thanks. No,
It's good to know as well. So
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. No,
Thank you.
it's good.
Well, and
Great chat.
also, if there's anything you want to display, anything you want to shout out, anything in regards to you with work.
Yeah, no. I would like to say thanks. No, for myself, Asfal, he's done a lot. Obviously, he does a lot for the kids now with his academy, but he's been around for a long time. He's got a lot of knowledge. No, really. Like when I was young, 14 years old, he used to come through. He used to watch us play when we were kids. And always, and the same problems that I think he saw when I was young are some of the issues that are still here today. And he's trying his best, but we need to collectively work together to try to,
Of course,
help the next generation, and I'm just trying to pass on the knowledge that I've learned for football, to the next.
Beautiful. Thank you.
No problem.
All right. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.